Spider-Man 2 is swinging by at fast speeds. With just a couple of weeks until launch, a bigger world, and with higher stakes than ever, it's time to have one final ultimate preview of Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Also, to celebrate the launch, I'm doing a giveaway for 2 copies of the game on the PlayStation 5. You just have to be subbed to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and leave a comment below, and I will reach out to the winners around launch. But starting things off with the districts, in addition to the previously featured Manhattan area, Spider-Man 2 will also include Queens and Brooklyn, almost doubling the size of the map from the first game. Players will get to visit iconic areas like Pete's old Midtown High School, and from the previous gameplay reveals, even his childhood home that he's seen defending at some point from a squad of craven mercenaries, all the way to Miles' current place of learning, the Brooklyn Vision Academy. All of these locations and more are rendered with an impressive level of detail compared to the first game, with denser traffic and higher NPC presence than ever before. Plus, they will feel much different to traverse compared to the towering skyscrapers of the Manhattan Island. But with a bigger world comes better ways to travel, and Marvel Spider-Man 2 adds quite a few of those. The web wings is one of them, and this was actually eluded from the very first game in one of its collectibles back in 2018. Accessible on both Spideys, web wings provide a whole new way to traverse the city, giving you higher speeds than ever when combining them, especially with the new and improved web slinging. There are even air tunnels going through the city that players can use to gain a massive speed boost to their gliding, letting you reach any destination faster than ever. Players might have also spotted that the slingshot is back, and not only that, you can use it wherever you want, and there are even dedicated spots on rooftops and other high places that you can use to gain a more powerful version of this that throws you even further. So combining this with the web wings and the wind tunnels will give you some serious airtime, so it will be interesting to see the tricks that players will pull off on day one. But moving on, the number 2 in Spider-Man 2 has a pretty cool coincidence, you know, since you get to play with both Spider-Man in Spider-Man 2, but the game will let you freely swap between Peter and Miles at will during open world exploration. This is simply done by pulling up your phone app and then pressing and holding down square to switch to the other character, which will almost instantly transition into whatever activity that other hero was doing at the time. But it goes a couple of steps further. While out swinging in the city, you can actively stumble upon the other Spidey, maybe fighting crime or doing whatever a Spider-Man does. You can even join him or provide assistance in his endeavors. You can also randomly get help yourself. So let's say, for example, you're fighting crime, while the other Spider-Man may turn up and even assist you, so teamwork is definitely possible. But with great responsibilities also come great new powers. Yes, it's the other way around, but no less true. The game features 3 skill trees, including one for Miles' bioelectric powers, one for Peter's symbiote suit, and the third one that's shared between the two. But by far the most exciting are obviously the symbiote powers. There are multiple of these that we can pull off by simply holding down L1 plus the designated face button. So this includes a powerful multi-enemy tendril slam, perfect for when you're being overrun by enemies, which seems to happen a lot more often this time around. You can also turn into a spiky venom ball that charges at the enemy, launching them out of the way while also blocking any incoming damage. We've also seen the single tendril punch, a powerful attack that can instantly stun enemies and likely send them straight to the ER. But there are obviously many more and even cool tricks that you can pull off with this way. But by far the most violent of abilities is the symbiote surge, which you pull off by pressing down both the joystick buttons. This makes Pete go into a rage mode, during which his attacks are way more devastating and seemingly being capable of straight up one-shotting most common goons. There's going to be a cooldown on it, similar to the rage mode from God of War, during which you will have to rely on your core abilities before you can use it again. And the best part about all of this, you can use all of these symbiote powers when equipping any other suit. You're not stuck with the symbiote suit when using these powers, you can simply switch to any of the 65+ ones that exist in the game. At number 5, part of every compelling Spider-Man story is a compelling and equally strong set of villains. The first to be confirmed was Venom back as far as the first announcement trailer back last year. I think personally this is one of the best Venom recreations in any recent Spider-Man media I watched, and perfectly encompasses the iconic and very imposing physical appearance. We also know it's not Eddie Brock unless Insomniac wants to pull a fast one on us. It's been officially confirmed to be somebody else. But that should not detract from the fact that he is still very much extremely dangerous, as he can be seen completely wrecking the entire city and giving both Peter and Miles the fight of their lives. Then there's Kraven the Hunter. His insatiable hunger for the ultimate hunt brings him and his squad of mercenaries back to New York City on a mission to take down its biggest threats, including Spider-Man himself. It's unclear if his incursion has been sanctioned by any government body because his goons can be seen completely overrunning the city for like the millionth time, but at least he's trying to take down the bad guys too. It's enough to chase Peter all the way back to his house, which implies Kraven might have also learned about his true secret identity of, well, one of the Spider-Mans at the very least. The fight against Doc Connors in lizard form has also been shown extensively, and it comes in tandem with a really menacing makeover. The lizard is absolutely massive, completely covered in spikes, and our fight against him seems to bring us all throughout the city. From fighting in the sewers, being chased through the New York harbor, all the way to fighting on the sides of skyscrapers, it seems this won't be an easy fight by a long shot. But there are many more villains that got hinted, including Grizzly, the wrestler turned supervillain seeking revenge upon those who wronged him. Martin Lee, aka Mr. Negative, also gets a quick cameo, though unclear if he is a full villain or not. Various puzzles also heavily hinted towards Mysterio being present, and there are plenty more from the first game like Black Cat, Taskmaster, and possibly Yuri Watanabe as Wraith, her vigilante double life hinted at the end of the Silver Lining DLC. Moving on though, stealth has also gone through some pretty big changes compared to the first games, and while not as necessary compared to full-out combat, it seems it got better in the sequel, with improved powers and gadgets to further facilitate that. One of the newest tools helping with that is the web line, which we can see Miles using to create walkways out of enemies' line of sight and sneak around. Recent gameplay footage also showed him being capable of doing double takedowns on enemies, and generally, it seems that Miles is the natural fit for stealth runs. Coupled with his natural camouflage ability, he just seems like the perfect fit for that, but his bioelectric venom powers are still perfectly suited for him in the open combat. However, it does appear that places will be even darker than before, so I'm always open to clearing out gang territories without ever leaving a trace behind. And speaking of new gadgets, besides Webline, we have a few more, which also come packed with a redesign of the gadget crafting system. We also saw the Web Grabber, similar to the Trip Mine from the first game, but actually pretty much on steroids. So you can throw this in the middle of an enemy pack and it will pull and slam all of them into one another for an instant knockout. This can work on up to 4 enemies and even objects, pulling them in with devastating force. Then there's the Upshot. This deploys a drone that peppers web shots and launches enemies, perfectly setting them up for more combos. These and many more can be upgraded with tech parts via the gadgets menu once you have enough crafting materials. And from the looks of it, some of these can be acquired quite early, so you will get to pull off some crazy combos not too far off into the main story. But what's a Spider-Man game without cool suits to show for it? Marvel's Spider-Man 2 will feature over 65 suits in total, including both fan favorites and original designs for both Peter and Miles. There are many unique designs, including many that feature capes, which personally are the ones I'm most excited for. But now they will also feature styles that you can actually craft using tokens you get from the open world events and other crafting mats. Each suit has multiple styles that you can craft and then choose between, in total giving access to over 200 ways to customize your favorite style. Also interesting to note is that suit tech is its own mechanic, almost like a complete skill tree that provides different upgrades for both Peter and Miles. For example, the All-Seeing perk reveals tech crates on your minimap, but there are many more that will boost your health, damage, focus, and even your traversal abilities. Speaking of open world events, with the map double in size, we also get more new stuff to do than ever. Pulling out your phone app will let you follow and receive missions from New York's own citizens. These side missions can be completed with both Spideys most of the time, however there will be ones specific to either Peter or Miles that you can only do by selecting that specific character. Completing them also seems to be like the best way to gain XP, as well as extra tokens needed for crafting, upgrading, and all of that. The map is again broken down into districts with several objectives in each one, including collectibles, crime activities, and returning ones like photography challenges, and so on. Now, completing these will also count towards district progress, which now unlocks other new rewards having their own challenge tracks and such, including the ability to fast travel. This also includes getting more XP to level up and crafting mats to unlock and upgrade gear. But besides these, we also have new open world events. One of them includes Kraven's own talent drones that we can actually chase using our web wings, downloading the precious data inside while trying to avoid any obstacles on the way. Now the town is infested with Kraven's flying drones, so every district will have at least one or two of them that we need to chase down. We also have these mysterious diamond-shaped eye symbols projected into the night sky, possibly hinting at some kind of interaction with Mysterio himself. And finally, spider bots are making a return, emitting a visible AoE ping that we can see from far away. So this is another collectible that gives extra XP and ways to acquire extra crafting mats. But we've also seen how much destruction is left behind from our fights with the lizard, and more environmental destruction is also going to be part of Marvel Spider-Man 2. While it was supposed to be a bigger part of the first game too, it seems going through collapsing parts of buildings is back, and in certain story moments, it's more cinematic than ever. So this was just the fight against the lizard that can leave off so much havoc behind. You can only imagine how much there's gonna be behind once we fight with Venom. This brings us to number 12, and with all of these new powers, we also have new struggles, especially for poor old Pete. One of the most iconic aspects of the Venom saga weren't just the new abilities that Peter got, but also the changes he's been going through both physically and mentally. So while the symbiote makes its host stronger than it's ever been, the mental toll is not to be overlooked, and this seems to be a major focus in recent trailers and most likely in the main story too. Peter seems to go through a pretty serious crisis despite his newfound powers, and it's up to MJ and Miles to snap him back to reality. It also seems that he and Harry work together on what's likely a symbiote-related project early on before disaster inevitably strikes, so really curious to see how this is going to look like in the full narrative. But another big change coming up to number 13 started with the remaster of Spider-Man 2018, and that is having to do with the face and facial animations, especially for the main characters. Pete has gone through a complete change back in 2022, but it seems MJ is also featuring an upgrade of her own now in the sequel. That, coupled with the improved lighting and advanced illumination, makes characters pop up even more than the usual in the recent scenes. Initial hands-on impressions were pretty much very positive on the attention to detail for the character faces and animations, and I can see why Insomniac's work on upgrading them definitely seems to have paid off. But moving on to number 14, yeah, the platinum and the gameplay length have also been recently leaked. While no info just yet on the full game length and nothing official, it's rumored to be as pretty close to the 2018 game, so around 30-35 hours give or take, with reports coming in for folks already hitting platinum after just 30 hours. Of course, your mileage might vary depending how fast you are at completing things, so let me know down below, do you think this is too short or long enough for a game now in 2023? And finally, to number 15 on the performance and RTX mode sides, yeah, Insomniac recently confirmed that ray tracing will be on and active for all modes, including fidelity and performance. There's no mode in this game that has ray tracing turned off, no need for it, they mentioned. This still comes with the 30 FPS fidelity mode favoring graphics, a 60 FPS performance mode if you just like to play a little bit smoother, and 40 FPS mode that goes all the way up to 120Hz, but again, all with ray tracing active. And the PlayStation 5 will also take advantage of the almost instantaneous loading times, making fast travel extremely quick and also immersive. I mean, just look at this transition straight into gameplay, and from the looks of it, it's going to be the same from the main menu too. But this is pretty much it with the ultimate preview for Marvel Spider-Man. Let me know down below, are you excited for the game or not? And also, if you are, make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave a thumbs up on this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.